That's pretty cool. Well, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Freedom to Fight. I'm your host, Anura Mathis, and today we're going to talk about my story, my martial arts journey, my trauma story, my time during the pandemic. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. Thanks for joining. So I shall talk about why this is important to me. I considered a lot of different options, but when I made the connection of what MMA really is, I knew that I needed to talk about it. And I knew I needed to talk to the people that knew about it, the people that had studied and practiced for a good chunk of their lives. I knew I needed that as well. So it just kind of came to fruition that I would interview people that are training me, influencing me on my journey, and also share my journey so that hopefully that will influence others. The goal of this project, of this podcast, is to share that message, the message that I got from my training, but also to hopefully open the door for so many others to find what's behind that. I found something lifelong. I found a treasure behind the door, but I don't know what other people will find, and I hope that I can help you open it. So, what got me interested in this? It's kind of a funny story. I got interested, I think, now that I realize how martial arts has affected the world. I think most children grew up watching some type of kung fu or karate, or Karate Kid, classic and new versions, had some sort of exposure to martial arts and some fantasy around that. So I know I had that as a kid, but I really truly did not ever want violence. Like anything that was violent, including in video games. I mean, I played video games and still do. I mean, that's my earliest memories are playing video games. And there's violence and death and, things like that. And it always bothered me. But so I never sought out something that would trigger that. So I never really considered being a martial artist. But I definitely wanted to have some form of self-defense and have something that was a bit I wanted an art. I wanted to study an art. I wanted to study dance, honestly. And I still do. But what I wanted was to get comfortable in my own body again. And I definitely got that. I found Limitless Martial Arts in June of 2021, and I'm so grateful that I did. I even remember the conversation I had with Crew Ali. Uh, I it was surreal. I just kind of didn't uh, expect I didn't know what I was getting into. I just Googled martial arts nearby and found that. And I called to get information, and I thought I was going to have to call a lot of places. And he welcomed me in to show it for free and just to try it out, which kind of took some of the stress off because we couldn't afford classes when I was a kid, and I definitely struggled as an adult, and it so that was a factor. And the first class I took was a women's self-defense class, and we went over boxing. My first class was amazing. It just went from I wanted no violence whatsoever to it turned on a switch. I don't think I'd ever felt that way. I definitely had never felt that way in public. I'd never felt that way with other people. Like feeling like I felt powerful. So that was just kind of some light into what was in store. And then I took another women's class, a women's self-defense class, but it was like the grappling aspect and getting comfortable with being choked and having someone on you and defending yourself. It is using different parts of your brain for sure. I had such a great time, and Ali invited me to take other classes, and I just was so excited. After my first class, I couldn't help but go and tell people. And then when I took my first class with I took my first Muay Thai class, an adult Muay Thai class. It was overwhelming, but it hooked me. I was like, what the heck is this? I want to know this. I want to know it well. I want to do this well. And then what's next? And so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was next. And my goodness, it almost makes me emotional just to talk about BJJ. I mean, it really did put me back in connection with my body. Definitely Muay Thai as well, but understanding your power is something that's very, very powerful. Unfortunately, most people have had a difficult time through the pandemic. I've had a particularly difficult time through the pandemic, and it's a bittersweet experience because it led me to this project, but it was so much suffering and is so much suffering involved. I have lost 9 people since October of 2020. Yes, 9 people, friends and family. Some were and still are the most important people in my life. My family is such a priority to me. So it's such a huge blow to lose anybody in my family. But I've lost my mom and my oldest brother. I lost one of my nephews and one of my cousins, people that I've known my entire lives, people that I considered family, that still influence me today. So it's been nearly a crippling time. So I'm glad that I've reached a point where I needed to find something. I needed to grab onto something to help me through this suffering. Thankfully, I came across martial arts, and specifically MMA, mixed martial arts, learning more than one and learning the purposes of these techniques to become a good fighter. I'm very grateful that I found this avenue of healing and expression. Therapy has been such a support for me for many years, but especially during my time of grieving. I still regularly go to talk therapy, and I've always found that beneficial, but also a trauma therapy called EMDR therapy. EMDR therapy is geared towards traumatic events. It's to bring some desensitization to traumatic memories. So it's EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So quite literally, you're reprocessing how you view those traumatic memories. And I've found such freedom. I think that's what influenced the name of the show, Freedom to Fight. It's freedom from and freedom to. Freedom from, some of the restrictions that trauma brings. Trauma can make you feel trapped, but and it's still an ongoing experience for me, but it's made me feel at times that my trauma is all that there is. And so it's an especially difficult experience to overcome, and maybe never to overcome, but to work through, to know that it's all just is. It's all just energy. It's all just experiences, and it doesn't have to be labeled as good or bad. It's what that experience brings to you. And for me, my trauma of losing the most important people in my life, and the most important people in my life, losing those people as well, and watching them grieve has been particularly difficult. But it's led me to these revelations of there's something you can do about it. So that's what I would like to do, is share more of my purpose and to pass this on to others, so that maybe you'll find some benefit in it as well. Thanks for joining. So a little bit about me. I am a trauma therapist, and what that means is I have a bachelor's degree in psychology.
I have a master's degree in professional counseling, where I learned one-on-one therapy, group therapy, various types of therapy, and also practice therapy throughout my program, 2 different internships. Since then, I've also practiced in private practice and agency work. I'm titled myself as a trauma therapist because my focus is on trauma and the impacts of trauma and the healing and recovery from trauma. So that's why I represent myself this way. My other focus is in neuroscience and neurobiology, and how our brain-body connection, how that's impacted by trauma and recovery from trauma. So all of this ties together because science says that martial arts helps heal trauma. But I wanted to explore that on my own because I was going through so much trauma myself, because I am going through so much trauma myself. I wanted to see if that would be true for me. And it absolutely is. It's a source of peace for me. It's I get so much from it. I get some balance from it. I get help with my mental health, with my self-esteem. It's empowering. It's challenging to make me better. There's so much to get from it. The exercise, the strengthening, all of the changes that happens to your brain and body is immense. And that's why I am still pursuing it, and I will be a lifelong pursuer of martial arts. In future episodes, I will talk more about how martial arts has benefited my life, and hopefully bring on as many people as possible to interview people that are training me now, people that I look up to, people that have a wealth of knowledge in this art. And so that's my intention, is to talk to them about their journey and absorb as much as possible from them. I hope that you come back and listen to those interviews and what we have in the future. Thanks for joining me.